Okay, awesome. Well, welcome to the show, Shane.
Show Shane?
There we go. Welcome to
buddy?
the show, Shane. Yeah, so I got to see you guys last night. I was in town, and I just figured, who was it? You that mentioned that A2 was having his birthday?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's we organized his. We did a Saturday night at a friend's house, like just the closest friends. It was a surprise party, and he walked in and he almost dropped his bags of pop that he had in his hands because he had no idea. And then I set up my buddy Phrase that was also playing last night. He's a part of the Crate D&B and the Six crew. He contacted us and said, "It's my night. What do you guys want to do?"
Oh, okay.
So I was like, well, hey, we just featured a bunch of A2's new music with these guys Slip and Slide, and I was like, well, I featured them on Crate D&B and the Six last week. I was like, why don't we have them come out on Sunday and feature their stuff? And then Phrase was like, that sounds like a great idea. And then the lineup just got bigger and bigger, and I'm actually real happy with the way that things turned out last night.
So is Royal Bloodline, Crate D&B two different entities?
Yes.
Or? Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'll break it down. Crate D&B in the Six was my MCZ. He reached out to DJ Blackley from the UK, and it was always bugging him. I want a show. Can I get a show? Can I get a show? So finally, about a year goes by. Blackley's like, okay, I'll give you a show. Mm-hmm. This is the time slot. Before even Z knew what time it was in Canada time, he took it.
Okay.
So he's like, oh yeah, guys, I got a show for us that starts at 1 o'clock on Saturday, but it's 7 o'clock over in the UK. And then he brought in me, brought in Brockout, and then we needed a place to do it, so he brought in Chill Will, and then that grew from there. And that's how we got Fractal, Phrase, Chill Will, Brockout, myself, Caddy Cad, and White Wolf and Z. And that's the Crate D&B and the Six crew.
Okay. Yeah.
Then the Royal Bloodline crew, my boys Z and White Wolf contacted me when I was driving my son home and said, we have this idea. And before they could even finish telling me what it was, I said, I'm in. And then they started talking about Royal Bloodline. And the amount of work that we've been putting into Royal Bloodline the last year, we're just going to be releasing our first Royal Bloodline video. Brockout and I stepped into a studio, my boy Fractal's house, and we did a set there. So our video's coming out, our set's coming out, plus we have another track that we've been working on that we're going to be releasing under Royal Bloodline also.
Oh, right.
So the Royal Bloodline is A2, Z, White Wolf, Brockout, and myself. Mm-hmm. So you do have half of Crate D&B in the Six is half of Royal Bloodline.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we worked so well together.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of hear you got like honorary members or whatever.
Yes, A2 is an honorary member.
Okay.
A2 is an honorary member. So like, he's welcome to come to the show anytime he wants to come. He calls up and says, "Hey, I want to play. Come on in."
Oh,
and then also Joey Mojo from the States. And I don't know if you know who Joey Mojo is, but that's Cheech Marin's son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as in the Cheech and Chong.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're good friends with him, and he just loves to come out and play on Crate D&B and the Six.
Oh,
so he's also an honorary member of Crate D&B and the Six.
Cool.
So anytime he's in the city, he can play. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So like you do a lot of stuff here in Toronto. Are you guys traveling around quite a bit? Like I seen that yourself. Even I noticed that you just come back from Scotland. Were you do any promotional stuff while you were there? Or was that strictly?
That was strictly family.
Okay.
That was all family. We've done like out of Toronto shows, still in Ontario. Mm-hmm. But Brockout and I, we've traveled to Ottawa together to do back-to-back shows. We've traveled to King Carden, Ontario to do shows. We actually went to King Carden, Ontario with Joey Mojo also. We also played down in St. Catharines, Ontario. But I just think that the more Royal Bloodline puts out with videos, tracks, sets, the more people will recognize. And even still now, it's amazing the feedback that we're getting from our fans and from around the world even about Royal Bloodline. We got people in England, USA, and different parts of the world, and people want our merchandise, and we don't even have it out yet. Like, we're just starting to get it out, and they want it already.
Yeah.
So that's the next project that we're going to be working on is the
merchandising
apparel,
yourself.
Yeah, the merchandising, like getting the hats embroidered and getting shirts made up and just a whole bunch of different things.
Well, it's such a big thing. It's like, well, before the show started, I had mentioned to you about wanting to put my branding out there. You know, like it's important to have that for yourself, and you know, it's gonna, when people start recognizing that label, you know, they think of you, and if you know you're walking down the street, it's like, oh yeah, I know those guys, right? You know, it's a cool feeling.
When I'm wearing the shirt, everyone's like, where can I get one? It's like, they're coming. You know, just relax, man. Like, they're coming.
So how long has the whole Royal Bloodline thing been going then? How many years now have you guys had?
I think we've been, I think it was about 2 years ago that it was mentioned. I think a year ago it started getting serious, just because there's 5 of us in the group and each one of us has different things going on. And my boy White Wolf, he had to go up to Thunder Bay, I think, and he took some time out there. So we were waiting for him to get back, and when he came back, that's when it all pretty much started rolling. Okay. But like, the people that live in Toronto can still do stuff to help promote Royal Bloodline, like myself and Brockout and A2 and Z. I'll travel down to Hamilton to Brockout's house to go make more tunes. So as long as we keep the production up, because all these guys have to do, all the boys have to do is pretty much just go into a studio, push play on the thing, and then push record, and then they can start doing their bars. So as long as me and Brockout Brockout and I, proper lingo here.
Don't worry about proper English. You can drop F-bombs, you can do whatever you want on this show, it's fine.
No fucking way. So pretty much as long as me and Brockout keep the production going, and that gives the guys something to do.
Yeah.
So then that will give them more of like, hey, we're going back in the studio, hey, we're doing this, hey, we're doing that. So that's why we're just doing everything that we can while the people are all together. We did a whole day of photo shoot, and at the end of the day, we're all like, oh my God, I'm just getting tired, because we did so much walking. I think I heard our track like 1,700 times.
You do start to get sick of your own music after a while.
Yeah, Brockett said that to me proper the other day. He was like, oh yeah, it's funny when you can sit there and keep hearing the 20,000 times. I'm like, yeah, but the end result, like last night at church, Brockout played our newest tune.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's disgusting. What is that? And then I realized, oh my God, it's our tune. And I pulled it back right away. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't even know until like partway through the track that it was ours.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. And I was like, that's disgusting. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the new tune that me and him just made.
See, so when did you played it last night, you say?
Yes.
So when did you play that? I was there until about 1 o'clock or so.
I think it was after. I think it was around 1:15 when he dropped it.
So I might have still been there for it. Tell you the truth, because I did recognize some of this. Have you played any of it? Like, is it on your YouTube or anything like that?
No. Our YouTube is not set up yet. We're in the process.
Sorry, I guess it wasn't specifically yours. It was like I've looked up all 5 of the guys.
Because I heard from everyone in the group that you've done some research on us, which is absolutely awesome. But the whole YouTube thing is going to be set up, but eventually we're going to have Royal Bloodline YouTube and have all of our stuff on it. But you may have heard the Royal Bloodline anthem. We played that last night. I dropped that last night. And that's the one, the music video we just did. And the new one, no one really knows about the new one yet. And
so when can we expect that?
Probably after the release of our first video.
And then we'll bring time frame at all?
Not just the guys are in the editing is going on. We have one more shoot to do, and that is this coming Thursday at Run D&B. It's a weekly Thursday, and all Crate D&B in the 6 is going to be performing at that. And Royal Bloodline's going to be there too. So we just figured we're going to do some in-club shots. So once we get that done, because they're pretty much almost done editing, they just need a couple more pieces. And that's those club shots. So
well, like on your Facebook, I noticed so you got listed that your Royal Bloodline, Crate D&B, Low Down Deep, Up and EM Rage, Bar Rage,
Up and Atom,
Up and Atom.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's all right.
And then Run D&B, Forward D&B. Do you find it tough to balance all of these venues and labels, or are they all just is it?
No. It basically with social media. It's because the Low Down Deep and the Bar Rage. Low Down Deep is Logan D in England, and I was the first guy to bring him to Canada. So ever since then, I've had a bond with him, and I'm friends with him. So me and Z were repping Low Down Deep pretty hard, and we still do. So That's why I have Low Down Deep. I'm like a Canadian representative of Low Down Deep.
Okay.
Same with Bar Rage. Same with Up and Atom. I think Z and I are going to start repping a new label also called Auxiliary Killers out in the UK also. So, but the Royal Bloodline, Run D&B, Forward D&B, that's all Toronto based.
Okay.
That's all Canada based. Everything else is pretty much overseas. It's just because like we have the connections with the people. And Z especially has a lot of connections with the people. I just brought a couple people here a couple times, you know, put my foot in the door, but he opened it right up.
So, okay. So you'd say Z's more of the, if I was looking for somebody to talk to, is kind of the agent for you guys, as it were?
There's no agent. There's not. When we're doing something, we all talk to each other.
Well, that's awesome that you can do that.
We all have to agree on it. If one person does not agree, then we figure out a solution. But we all agree on it. So, man, I just drew a brain fart.
That's all right.
What was it you were just saying?
I was just talking about like if I was talking to an agent or whatever, right? If I was asking for one.
So if somebody contacted Z or somebody contacted Brock out, like somebody contacted Brock out and said, hey, I want to put you guys in St. Catharines. He messaged us right away and said, hey, what do you guys think about this? All of us said yes, so we all agreed on it. But if one person was like, no, I don't agree on it, then we would have to figure out a different solution. But we talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
And there's no real agent. I just think it's probably better that we all handle our own stuff.
So do you guys do like all your promoting together and stuff too, or do you have a company or anybody that helps you with your promotions? Or
just all of ourselves.
Wow.
Z is a major Facebook junkie. I don't. Sorry, Z. But he's promoting all the time. I am also. Brockout makes tunes. A2 promotes and White Wolf promotes. So it's like, but Z and I promote a lot for Royal Bloodline, Up and Atom, Create D&B, Low Down Deep. Just like when a new track is coming out from Low Down Deep, I'm going to share it a bunch of times onto a bunch of different groups. Still pushing the label out here. But the thing is that we're all just like we're part of the group, but we wanted our own. So that's what we're doing.
Essentially, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this whole thing. Like I've explained that a number of times on the show too. It's just because you got your 5 guys or whatever, right? So I figure if I can talk to whatever 100 guys and all of them, okay, well, even if it's not necessarily like your forte, like this might not be my favorite music, but it's support for other artists so that everybody can grow from one another, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that as a community, like, okay, so like right now, I might not get a whole ton of views for this show, but if one day, or if everybody promotes and keeps on pushing it, the guy that has 1,000 views or the guy that has 10,000 views, now it all snowballs together and everybody grows from it, right?
That's pretty much it. It's just helping each other out.
Yeah.
It's like my boy Marcus. He's starting Marcus Visionary. He's starting off a new thing called Spread Love, and it's pretty much leaving all your. I'm 100% about positivity. I don't like negative vibes. I don't like negativity. And anyone ever comes to any of our shows that's negative, I try to dismiss them and get them out of the show or out of the venue because I just don't like that stuff. And when we're doing this Spread Love, we're telling everybody just leave everything at the door, and all of us come together as we used to do. And spreading the vibe between all types of genres of music and people. Like my boy, like I was telling you earlier, my boy Aaron, he does his interviews. I share his interviews. If people I do know, people I don't even know, it's just because I'm helping him branch his stuff out too. Because of what you just said, there'll be a guy that has this many followers to compare to a guy that has this many followers. So even when this interview comes out, all over the place, I'm gonna be dropping it. And with you, you're from BC?
No, Alberta actually.
Alberta?
Northern Alberta.
Northern Alberta. So this is all going to be going out to that side of Canada. And coming back this way.
Oh, exactly.
So it's just spanning across the other side of the continent. Continent.
So I was really fortunate. God, now I'm drawing a blank. This is terrible.
you and me both, eh?
No, the guy that got me in contact with you. Oh, Claude Recca from Recca
yeah.
Records. Sorry, Jesus, that's terrible of me. But anyway,
White Wolf's the one was telling me about that.
So Recca got me in contact with you guys because and I just thought it was so appropriate because like the first track that I ever made, that I ever released was a drum and bass track. It's an okay drum and bass track, but like it's inspirational to watch guys like yourself doing what you're doing and as well as you're doing it. it. I'm sure that you guys have been at it for a number of years. How long have you been DJing for?
Bought my first vinyl in '97. Started playing out in 2000, and I was
okay.
playing out on vinyl turntables in 2000.
Yeah.
But it was so hard to get out back then because everyone had their own little thing going on. So I had to start my own promotion company, and that's how I got my a real serious foot in the door.
Yeah.
But it was just always a love of the music that just has just.
Was it always D&B for you, or what?
Pretty much, yeah. Like I did try. Like now I'm starting to get into some grime. And garage, or I don't even know if I'm ever saying that properly, but just gonna go with garage and grime. And I really like some of the old school house, but it's drum and bass. Like I'm a classical rock kind of guy. I grew up on that stuff.
Yeah.
Like if anyone was to say to me, "Hey Shane, what's your favorite band?" I'm like, Pink Floyd.
Oh, there you
like
go.
I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, right? So, but yeah, it's been drum and bass pretty much from 94. 94, I heard my first tape. That's when I went out and I was like, I just got so into it.
Yeah. On the studio end of things, are you like making beats too, or are you?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tune, the Royal Bloodline Anthem, was produced by me and Brockout.
Okay.
We have another tune that is called "Don't Tell Me." Mm-hmm. So don't tell me or don't tell me that. Oh, it's one or the other.
Anyway,
don't tell me or don't tell me that. But that one is also produced by myself and Brockout, and the newest one we just dropped last night. And that one I'm not saying the name yet.
Yeah, no,
Just
fair
can't
enough.
really drop that bomb yet. But that one was just done 2 weeks ago, and it still has a couple final touch-ups to do, and it has to be mastered.
Mm-hmm.
But that I think is going to be our next Royal Bloodline.
So how
track.
about the mastering end of things? Are you guys doing all that yourself too, or do you get somebody to do the mastering for you?
Yeah, we send that out, and Brockout has a couple of buddies that are good at mastering.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever Brockout is pretty much happy with how it sounds on his end, his end, he'll ship it out and go get it done.
Yeah, he's got a pretty big library of music that he's made himself. I was pretty impressed when I was looking into
Oh
his.
yeah, he is a very, very talented producer, and he learned a lot of his stuff from a guy named J-Line.
Mm-hmm.
J-Line is a real big producer out in UK, but he lived here for I think 6 months to a year, and Brockout and him just clicked, and J-Line started showing Brockout how to use the tricks. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, Brockout's like, yo, you got to come over and make a tune with me, man. I said, all right. And then we did, and we've been going from there. That's why I was saying on the previous questions that as long as Brockout and I keep making the tunes to keep those MCs on their toes so they have something else to work with.
Yeah.
If we're not producing it, they're not working it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're just keeping on top of that.
Oh, right on. Like I say, I'm loving the sounds of some of you guys' beats. I think that you guys got nothing but the ceiling to reach for. Right?
Well, it's a big thing when guys that I grew up listening to, I was the raver on the floor watching those guys up on the stage dancing. To have those guys tell me that, wow, these tunes that you guys are making are incredible. You guys are making moves. It's just it's absolutely mind blasting that that I'm getting to have this feedback from some guys that I looked up to.
Yeah.
So it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't.
But well, 20 years of dedication, though, too. You know, it's not like it comes overnight.
No, you're right. But I've lost a lot of money over the years as well doing the events that I did.
It costs you a lot to, you know, they say it costs money to make money, right? Like nothing comes simple. You got to invest it. And one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given, though, is you have to invest in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then you got to spend the money to make yourself into what you want to be.
Absolutely.
Right? So, yeah. So like for a person that's starting out, so like you're coming from all this experience in your background, what would you recommend? What would be the first steps for a person to take to kind of, if they want to be where you are in 20 years?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't ever give up. There's people that like touch a turntable and like, oh my God, I can't get it to beat match, or I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then they just put the headphones down and they stop. Mm-hmm. I kept at it and kept at it and kept at it, and I would not put those headphones down until I got a proper beat match. Mm-hmm. And that was all done on vinyl. Now you got guys nowadays that have the simple cues and serratos, and it makes DJing so much easier. Brockout and I are still the roots. Mm-hmm. We still go by the sound of our headphones and matching the beat proper. But if I'm going to tell anybody anything, is keep at it. Yeah. Just because you can't do it right away doesn't mean like you didn't ride a bike right away. Yeah. You had to learn how to do it, right? Just keep at it. Anyone for all you people out there, keep at it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, well, that was one of the things that I brought up in one of the first shows, actually. It's just like, I do like, you know, actually beat matching in your head, because there's things that you're not going to, or like that the program doesn't even pick up on, you know, that's not, you know, well, why isn't that? And then you're bringing it back and pissing around with it all the time. Instead, you know, like the time that I'll use a BPM match is if I'm dealing with, I have like a Kai APC 40, so it's just a scene launcher, right, for Ableton.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, you got like 6 or 7 different things that you're trying to put in at the same time on top of something.
Yeah.
When you're layering really heavy with it like that, right?
Sometimes it's too much.
And that's just it. It can be overwhelming. I tried that for the first couple of shows that I did because I have a side show called Chaotic Encounters as well.
Really?
If you guys are interested in doing something for that, I'd love to have you on that as well. It's just where
Well, I just think we're opening more doors here. The more,
Yeah.
the more you do, the more us do, we do. It would just open more doors.
Yeah.
And it's always about opening more doors.
Yeah.
Because that's how the word gets around.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the old days of standing in front of a club, flyering and postering is not really around anymore because of the simple fact of social media.
Yeah.
And even when social media was around back then, there wasn't Facebook. Like Facebook was just starting out, but it was mostly MSN Messenger, and everyone would be on that chatting to each other. But you couldn't really promote shows.
I still find that flyering helps though. Like
It does to a point.
Because you get that piece of paper and a nice flyer that's on your window, if you hate it, whatever. I hate the fact that a lot of them just get thrown in the street or whatever. But, you know, if you have that thing sitting in your car and you think about it every day for, you know, that thing floating around on your dashboard or whatever.
What the hell keeps flying around the back when I open the windows? Oh, it's that flyer.
Yeah, exactly, right? So,
Oh yeah, I had a company called Rather Rude, and I used to flyer all the shows that I did. We got 5x8s flyers, and they were not that much, and we would just go around parking lots and put them all in the windows. They got tossed, but I remember standing out in front of clubs, some of the biggest clubs in Toronto before they got torn down, like the government.
That was actually the only other club I've been to in Toronto. I came here once before, and I went there.
So sad,
Yeah.
so sad.
It was a cool club, actually.
It was. It had 4 big rooms. Actually, I think I had 5 rooms, but 4 of them were big.
Somebody says it's turning into a parking lot or something.
No,
now,
it's condo now.
condos. That's
It's
what
condo now.
it is.
Yeah, I actually moved someone
right.
into that damn condo.
Oh, did you?
I'm standing in the loading dock. I'm like, this used to be the dance floor. Crazy.
Yeah.
But I would stand out in front of that club until 4 in the morning, sometimes flyering my own shows, and that was how you got the word out. But it's just it's because you have guys that work hard on the promotions because Z has tricks, and he's learned some tricks from Blackley on how to get your posts out there more.
Yeah.
And you just pay a couple extra dollars on Facebook, and they do a mass post. Even if
for the boost.
yeah,
post
boost,
boost
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
So it's
yeah.
because you only have so many friends on your list, and if you pay the boost, it will go outside your friends list and make it more social.
Oh yeah,
to everyone else.
You can spend thousands of dollars on it
True.
if you want. Actually, I have the same thing for my Special Chaos page. Like it asks me all the time if I want to boost anything, and it's just if you wanted, you could promote it to the entire world if you really wanted to. But it's a matter of how much confidence I guess you have in that post, if it's worth spending $1,000 or a few $1,000 or whatever, right?
Z always says to me, "I just put $10,
Yeah,
$10, and it
right?
reached 28,000 people," and I'm like. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that we're going to be when the video comes out and our set comes out, we're all going to be putting in money to boost the posts.
Yeah, awesome.
So it reaches like all aspects.
That's so nice that again having that group of guys that's working together on it. You know,
well, those guys are my family.
Yeah,
I call every single one of those guys my brothers.
Oh, right on.
So and we just vibe so good together. So I would fight and die for my brothers.
Yeah. Have you ever tried stepping up in front of the decks and emceeing yourself?
No.
You're just like, no.
Oh hell no, no way! I don't even have the voice, and I could not spit anywhere near to what some of these guys like. I call A2 a lyrical genius.
Yeah.
Because he's very smart, and he takes these big words and puts them into his bars, and I'm just like, man, whatever you just said was sick. Keep at it, man.
I love that you had a 7-syllable word there.
yeah. But that's why he's so good.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I don't know. This is actually, I'm going through this pretty good, but how about stress relief? So what do you do if you're finding that you're having a tough time in the studio and you need to get away from it all? What is that?
I would say I think what Brockout does is he goes for hikes because he does most of the production. If I go to his house, we'll sit in the studio for 6 to 7 hours, but we'll take breaks. We'll go and get like a slushie or something to eat or smoke a few bowls, and then we'll go back at it. you know, just have ourselves a nice little hour break, just because that one syllable or that one part is just in your head over and over again. You're like, all right, I need a break from this for a second. But I don't ever really have to relieve stress from a studio. But if something else in life stresses me out, I think what I like to do is put tunes together, like mixing, because when you're mixing, you're concentrating on what tune are you bringing in next, is this beat matched, and you're pretty much escaping from the stuff that's in your head because you're concentrating on the music. So I've told people over and over again, I'm like, if you get pissed off at something, go drop in angry mix. They're like, angry mix? I'm like, yeah, if you're pissed, because I find out that when people are like really pissed off or they're frustrated, they can drop one amazing set because all that frustration, they're just like, yeah, and they're killing me. It's just like, wow, I feel like all of a sudden this is all off my shoulders because I just did that. I got pissed one time, somebody pissed me off. I went into a club and I played, and everyone was like, oh my God, that was incredible. I was like, yeah, it's because I was mad. But if I'm going to say to anybody to get a frustration, if you DJ, put down some music, but other than that, go outside for a walk if it's a beautiful day. I'd say that to anybody. If it's a beautiful day outside, go outside, go for a walk, get a slushie if there's one around you. And that's pretty much it for that. Like, I drop tunes, rock out walks. Oh,
that's good. No, that's definitely good advice to anybody, I think. You know, I find that nature and exercise, the combination of the two, are kind of a good outlet for myself. I always go there. So I don't know.
Flying through this?
We are flying through this. It's all right though. We're just about at the half-hour mark. And
That's fine.
I'm changing the format on this a little bit. Honestly, I've been going with some of the ones that I was doing before were up to 2 hours long, right?
Wow.
But it's, I think that it's too much for people to handle with the limited attention span of society this day. Plus, honestly, you can kind of get into the same questions over and over again, and nobody wants to hear that after a while, too.
Well, right? But also, if you have a guy that likes to talk, and he just keeps going and going and going,
oh yes,
then you're like, okay, that question was supposed to only be 10 minutes long, and now it's turned into an hour.
Well, I don't know. I think that we've covered everything that I want to cover. I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to speak with you.
Thank you very much for contacting us.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know about the rest of our crew is going to be coming eventually. I know White Wolf's already on his way, but I really appreciate you reaching out to us, because it just makes me feel like like you got sent over from, what was it?
Sorry?
Who sent you over to us again?
It was Rekka.
Rekka,
Rekka from Record Records.
That's right. So big shouts to him for doing that. But just to know that someone like him is knowing what we're doing to pass it on to you, it just makes me feel like, wow, we're actually making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to have their merchandise being like requested from Florida to UK, like people want our merch. So it's just like, wow. Like A2 said it last night when we were outside the club. He's like, wow, when we started this, I didn't know what to expect, and I was kind of looking down at it, and he's like, but to turn around and be like, the response that we got and how people are following us, he's like, I didn't expect this. I was like, I told you. You didn't listen, but I told you. He's like, shut up, Shane.
Like you say, well, you all put in your time, though, and in the 2 years that you've been doing this as the Royal Bloodline, obviously you've come a long ways. I see that, like you're talking about music videos that you have up and coming. Do you have any other shows or anything that you want to promote, or anything coming up?
So this Thursday at Run DMB is the Crate DMB in the 6. That's the
Actually,
August
you know
8th.
what? I should I should clarify on that. This probably won't get put out until September. So if there's anything that you can talk about.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to say anything about this, but because it's not going to be aired until September, it's fine. So on October 14th, no, that's when he lands. October 18th, myself and Z are putting together a show, and it's Royal Bloodline and Low Down Deep presents Logan D. Now I don't know how the full name of the flyer is going to be yet, but we're bringing Logan D from UK over.
Oh, awesome!
And he's the guy that owns Low Down Deep Recordings out in UK, which is a really big label out there. They sign new tunes. Plus, Logan D has his Problem Central. For any of you out there, check out Problem Central and Low Down Deep. But we also have, I mentioned Joey Mojo before, also he's coming up from Los Angeles to also perform on the same show. And then you have Royal Bloodline, and there's a guy that we've been wanting to work with by the name of Eamon. He calls himself Eamon, and he's going to start out the show for us. But it's pretty much me and Z bringing over, and that's October 18th. Yeah, October 18th.
Okay, well, like I say, thanks again, Shane.
Yeah,
I'm going to shake your hand
bro.
one more time.
Yeah,
It's
big
been
ups,
nothing but a
man.
pleasure.
Hey, no, thank you, bro. Thank you for coming out last night too and getting to see how we do and how we actually do.
I had the opportunity. I couldn't miss it.
Yeah, bro. Big ups, man. Appreciate
Well,
that.
everything's going to be on the YouTube channel and on podcast, or else check it out at twistedwaxrecords.com. Everything that I've done, and I'll probably be getting a profile done up for these guys eventually once I'm done all the interviews. So, yeah, thanks again. See you next time.